And by the way, just to make it clear, Lubos is an audiovisual media regulator rather than necessarily a privacy regulator, although I'm sure you've got privacy very much in your mind when you look at these questions. So Lubos, my question to you is, what are the most important priorities for audiovisual regulators in this particular area of policy and concern?
Thank you, John. Thank for the invitation and the opportunity to be here, because it is an extremely interesting event. And yes, coming as a media regulator, one of the core of our business is protection of children from harmful content. So we are coming from the view where we are trying to establish a regulatory framework through which children are protected from the harms that the new technologies pose. But it's coming from the old days, of broadcasting regulation, where there were systems that like labeling, for example, that were aiming to this area to really provide parents with the information around the content that potentially their children might view. And with technologies, these things are developing. So AVMSD, the directive that is putting down regulation for audiovisual media, already evolved, and it already explored the area of audiovisual media services on demand, where the technologies are a very important part of that. And we were examining in the past how we can, for example, make those systems interoperable. Because the services are provided across borders. So, for example, when we have a robust system in one country, it might not be sufficient because the services are provided from other countries. So we have some kind of experience with technologies coming into it and making, for example, websites in Germany. Already it was mentioned here that Germany had a system and already and still has a system of protection in websites. But now, there's one part of that. The other is how to make those systems really working, how they can actually recognize that the children are connected, that the users that are being there are children. And this is where your initiative is coming in. Already in 2018, we were exploring how ADAS may come into this and whether there is actually a feasible possibility for users to be recognized according to their age. And I remember that we were excited that this might be actually happening. And I remember Sonia Livingston was there, and Rachel O'Connell, that I've seen already contributed through chat today, were there, and we were talking about this area. So I'm really glad that there is an initiative on the table that is looking at this. And for us, I know that privacy is a strong part of that, and I'm really glad that you are looking holistically at all of this. So if there is a privacy protective way to make children more safe and to have their age recognized on the services, for us, this is something that should be really tried, and that really can help us do our work even better. Now, the real connection with legislation now here, and it was already mentioned here, is via broadcasting of audiovisual services on demand, and now the new thing, video sharing platforms, that is a new kind of regulated service in the AVMSD. And there is an age verification prescribed in those directives, although the technical means to do that are really now entirely to the services themselves or provider of the services themselves. But we were calling for harmonization in this area for quite some time, because, as I said, the services are provided across all of Europe from different states, and if everybody using some kind of different system, it just wouldn't work. So if there is, again, a harmonized system how to do this, it might really help. And we now have to thank also other services, because now we know that the new legislation, Digital Services Act, is currently being discussed in the European Parliament and through the European legislation. And although there is not age verification mentioned there, the rights of children and the protection of children from the harms is mentioned there. And I think we also have to think about these implications and how to protect children, protect children from the harms also from these services that were largely unregulated from the content point of view. So I think if this initiative is successful, I think it will have a strong implication also further than what's been regulated up to now. So again, I see a lot of potential there for better protection of children, with all the caveats that are attached to that, with privacy, and also the other children's right that Sonia mentioned a moment earlier. But we are very supportive of this project and try to use it, and we will try to work with this within our framework and help as much as possible. Thank you, John.
Thanks a lot. We've had quite a few questions coming in.